Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we have a follow-up on that story we covered a couple of weeks ago about the Netflix director that scammed them out of millions of dollars. And now he's looking at decades behind bars.
Okay, so they said he was guilty.
Oh, yeah.
I figured as much. They were trying to plead temporary insanity and stuff, and I was like, okay.
He's too dumb. Yeah, this is a guy that spent... he got like an additional $11 million from Netflix for a show. He blew a bunch of money on like a $400,000
Yeah, he got
mattress.
money originally, and they gave him, he had money to do the show. They started the show, and then he asked for an additional amount of money to finish the show, and then he just used it to buy himself stuff.
Yeah, which, you know what? I think this happens a lot. I actually think this happens a lot in Hollywood. You just don't hear about it, and this guy wasn't a big fish, so they're like, yeah, we'll make an example of him.
Because you have, Fleabag, Phoebe Waller-Bridge sitting there, with a deal to develop stuff. Then it was a first look deal, and all she's done is probably ruin Tomb Raider, and that's about all she's done all this time. And she's getting all this money every year, and that's where we're at. And I'm like, and then you had J.J. Abrams, and that wasn't with Netflix, though. That was with somebody else. But he did the same thing where he had an exclusive deal, got all this money, and then he was doing all the stuff for other people, and that got gone. But they kept the money, as far as I know. They don't think they gave the money back.
No.
But this guy goes to jail for it.
So let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, you'll get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
Speaking of woohoos, the pins are in. They just came in. There's a picture of them coming out of the crate, and Geeky's working on getting these packed up for you. So we need your address. If you have not filled out your survey, we cannot ship these pins to you. So make sure that you fill your survey out. We want to get them out as soon as possible. And we actually have a little more wiggle room than we did for Halloween. Halloween was like right up against it. But thank you so much for the support, guys.
Yes, thank you.
This is coming from Deadline. Guilty director who scammed Netflix out of millions faces decades behind bars. So just after a few hours of deliberation, a New York jury has found Carl Rinsch guilty of scamming Netflix out of $11 million over a never-finished science fiction series. So he did 47 Ronin, which most people have forgotten about. But the 47 Ronin director's fraud money laundering trial lasted under 2 weeks. He was in the federal courtroom in Manhattan when the verdict was read. Under the charges from the U.S. Attorney's Office of the Southern District of New York, he faces up to 90 years behind bars.
Okay, let's get this straight.
What?
So if you defraud the rich people, it's 90 years. Come on. Do I think that, $11 million, he stole a lot of money, and that sucks? Yes. Do I think that's $90 million worth or 90 years worth? No. I do not believe that's 90 years worth of punishment. Because you took Netflix money. How much time would certain other people that had contracts? How much time would they have to be giving? 90 years.
90 years. The erratic filmmaker will undoubtedly receive less of a sentence.
Yeah, I would think.
Judge. Yeah, it's like you're gonna die in prison for taking the Netflix money and running. Sentencing hearing for him, who was represented by a combo of private lawyers and public defenders, has been set for April 17th, 2026. So,
they get a verdict, and it takes forever to get sentencing. Wow. I mean, it takes forever for the stuff to move through the court system in general.
Government prosecutors stated in their indictment earlier this year that he knowingly, having devised and intending to devise a scheme and artifice to defraud, and for obtaining money and property by means of false and fraudulent pretenses. So, as we understood it, he was given a bunch of money up front to do this sci-fi series. He burned through it. He didn't have any complete episodes. He only had like parts of episodes, which is not that unusual because, the way that filming works, that you film everything out of order, and you're like, okay, we're going to be on set or on location at this place. We'll do all the desert scenes, this week, and then all the, winter scenes this week, whatever. Part of me is like, did he do that deliberately? Did he not have anything finished? So he'd go back to them and ask him for another $11 million to finish it. And they gave it to him, and then he blew it on himself. Cars.
He bought cars and stuff. Yeah. I was like, why would you do that?
Yeah, they said taking the rare defendant move of testifying on his own behalf during the sometimes bizarre trial. Wow, that's going to be a Netflix. This whole situation is going to be a Netflix documentary. He entered.
They're going to sell the rights to Netflix to do the documentary. Netflix gets their money back and call it even.
There you go, guys. Win-win, right? He entered a not guilty plea and insisted the millions he got from Netflix on top of the tens of millions he already received for never completing and ballooning Android drama White Horse Conquest was to pay off money of his own he put into the project. Vouched for in part by 47 Ronin. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, he did that last time. Keanu Reeves vouched for him. But
yeah, Keanu Reeves vouched for him.
Yeah.
Yep. Going into the making of the ambitious White Horse, Rinsch told the court he was using some of the material he had already shot for leverage for a second season from the streamer. Second season on Netflix. Are you crazy?
You haven't even done the first season, dude.
Clearly, in a trial that saw former Netflix executive and now Paramount streaming exec Cindy Holland, as well as her old colleague Peter Fredlander, take the stand too. The jury didn't buy it in full. He was charged this past spring with one count of wire fraud, which carries a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison, one count of money laundering, which carries a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison, 5 counts of engaging in monetary transactions and property derived from specified unlawful activity. Specified. Okay. Each of which carries a maximum sentence of 10 years in prison.
Yeah, but usually they run them concurrently. Like if you 20 years max, 20 years max, 10 years max. They say it could be up to 90 years, but a lot of times they don't. A lot of times they'll be like, you get up to, so we're gonna give you 15 years. It's all of them are being lumped into one. Time in prison.
Yeah, and I'm
sorry, 90 years is excessive for this.
Let's be honest here. This guy is going to Club Fed. Like they're not going to put him in. He's not going to, yeah. They're not going to film Orange is the New Black with this guy as the new star. It's not going to happen. It said out on a $100,000 bond posted quickly after the Department of Justice indictment came out in March. The self-declared no-income director is also fighting an arbitration, ruling against him to pay back the Ted Sarandos and Greg Peters run streamer, the big bucks he blew on cars, stocks, a lot of food deliveries, and more. Netflix had no comment. They said, harking back, this is the big takeaway, though. This is Netflix used to give obscene amounts of money to people to produce shows that nobody was going to watch.
Yeah, and they also did shows that, like I said, they gave money to, Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
Yeah.
To basically develop stuff. And the only thing that she's come out of that with after a couple of years is a Tomb Raider show. That's it.
Yeah, if it actually happens. I mean, they have a cast and all that, but
I'm not saying it's the same thing, but what I'm saying is it's like, you waste way more money on them than you did on this person. And I mean, $11 million are still stolen, yes. And I think that the guy should pay it back. And I do think he should do jail time. I just think that, because it's Netflix, they're going to try to throw the book at this person.
So look at this. Because I think he's the first of many. I think there were a lot of other people. I don't think you're going to get a Phoebe Waller-Bridge or a J.J. Abrams going to prison or anything like that. But there were probably a lot of people that were given a shit ton of money from Netflix or Amazon or whoever, and they got nothing in return for it. Even
pretty
worse.
Much. But they got away with it. Yeah.
Even worse, they got the money and they got something in return for it, and it was shit, and everybody had to sit through it.
It was She-Ra. No, sorry.
It was She-Ra. Sometimes it's shit. Sometimes it's She-Ra.
Well, that's the same thing.
I know, right? Harking back to an era that now feels as long ago as the Roman Empire, Holland snatched White Horse, later renamed Conquest, from Amazon in 2018 for over $61 million, burning through $44 million of then big spender Netflix's dough and holding Final Cut power. That was the problem, I guess. They couldn't legally finish it. I'd be like, bitch, you stole money. We're finishing this. Yeah. And calling it a day and get out of here. But he demanded another $11 million from the company in 2020 for what he termed as various and pre and post production needs to complete the series. So in 2021, with nothing to show for its investment but a few teaser clips, Netflix pulled the plug on it. The company then wrote off $55 million in costs. Following that, Netflix won a $12 million arbitration ruling against him in 2024 after he claimed that the company actually owed him okay.
Yeah, we read that last time too. Yeah.
Oh, bitch. This is where you screwed up. Yeah, after the filmmaker claimed the company owed him $14 million, he hasn't given Netflix a dime, as was made evident in his trial.
Okay,
if he hadn't pushed it.
Well, but they already wrote it off. So they already got the tax break for it. So, of course, big corporations can write it off and stuff like that. And then they can get a tax break. But, regular people can't. But yeah, we read that last time too. It was all good until he demanded money from them. And that's why I think they took it this far.
Because they were trying to protect themselves too. So this guy just sounds like he's batshit. I mean, everything I've
he
I've
tried
read.
to argue that it was temporary insanity and all this stuff. I mean, dude deserves to go to jail. I'm not saying he doesn't. I think he 100% deserves to go to jail.
But how
I'm
many
just
others?
like-
How many
I'm just-
others
that's just
out
it.
there?
And I'm like, but 90 years, I mean, which is not going to be what he gets. But I was like, 90 years? That's nuts.
90 years, New York City.
New York. I'm sure we're going to know what you're talking about.
Oh my God,
Okay.
that's how old I am. Pace salsa. Look
They
it up,
even make that
Conquest salsa.
anymore?
Yeah,
I
they
don't
do. They do. It's not made in New York City. It's probably made in like, I don't know, Texas somewhere.
I know, it's probably made in another country. Anyway.
I was like, well, if it's made in Mexico, it's probably a good thing. Canada,
more
it's
authentic.
Canadian salsa, okay? It's like Canadian bacon. It's just ham, but we give it a fancy name. Canadian salsa is like ketchup.
Anyway, can we just...
Yeah.
Sorry, Canada. Anyway.
Or catsup. Is that what they call it up there? Catsup.
I don't know.
All right, let's wrap this up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.